Good morning, everyone. This is Neetu Jawle, your friend, and professionally, I am a relationship coach. Today, we are going to talk about expectations and acceptance. We all have heard that if you expect nothing from somebody, you are never disappointed. When you stop expecting people to be perfect, you can like them for who they are. Expectation is, however, only a want where we expect others to behave the way we want them to be. And when the person acts contrary to that, there's a huge disappointment. Let's understand more about expectations. Expectation is defined as believing that something is going to happen or believing that something should be a certain way. An example of expectation is a belief that you will be getting promoted. Our expectations often can reveal what we value and want to create within our relationships, and we tend to feel more satisfied when these expectations are met. Well, what happens when expectations are not met? When our expectations are not met, we feel a strong sense of disappointment or betrayal. It gives rise to negative emotions like hurt, guilt, and frustration. Do you recollect any instance where you felt cheated, betrayed, or unloved because your expectations were not met in given circumstances? Generally, how do you react? Don't you become judgmental about the relationship? Don't you start doubting the authenticity of that relationship? Or don't you get into that analysis mode why your expectations were not fulfilled? In fact, we don't realize, but most of the times it's our expectations that cause us our greatest pain. Is it wrong to have expectations? Generally, we expect things from others or others to behave in a certain way. This clearly means the action to be taken to fulfill your expectation has to be taken by the opposite person and not you. That leads to the fact that whether you feel happy or frustrated in given situation will depend on how the opposite person acts. Don't you think you are giving full control of how you will feel in someone else's hands? And imagine this happening day in and day out, where you don't have any control of how you feel. Well, expectations are premeditated resentments. Unspoken expectations are almost guaranteed to go unfulfilled. We parents assume that their children should obey their expectations because adults have the authority to run a household. If we expect our children or other people to act in ways that are not consistent with their own interests, they will probably resist our expectations and leaving us resentful. Expectations are projections into the future. They are created because we cannot accept the present moment. Expectations cannot make you happy because you are not enjoying what it is. You are always in future. It is an illusion. By trying to please everyone, we end pleasing no one, including ourselves. That's why most of us feel frustrated and disappointed. As Bruce Lee once said, I am not in this world to live up to your expectations, and you are not in this world to live up to mine. No one likes to be told how to live, as people are not under our own control. It is true for us as well. We have no obligation to fulfill someone's expectations. Actually, peace begins when expectation ends. Let's take an example of Anuj. Anuj is working in an organization as a project manager. Last year, he and his team has achieved great results by on-time and in-budget deliveries. He has been a star performer as the project is for a client who is very important to the company. This year, the process of performance appraisals has started, and Anuj is expecting a promotion and a good rise in his salary. But guess what? Forget about promotion, he has just got a normal hike in his salary. Coming from unfulfilled expectations, what do you think his reaction will be? Anuj is feeling angry, hurt, dejected, and cheated by his superiors. Self-talk plays in his mind about he has always been deprived of his rights. How unfortunate he is to get a boss who is having soft corner about other non-deserving colleagues. He decides to resign, but then he remembers the fat EMI and the family expenses, which makes him feel so helpless, and feeling of frustration has gripped Anuj from all sides. What Anuj has done here is negative self-talk, disempowering him to think about any positive solution. Now, when Anuj wants to change his situation, what can he possibly do? Well, understanding and willingness to change is the first step to acceptance. We cannot change anything unless we accept it. Acceptance is not avoiding how you feel, but is working through your feelings. It is embracing your feelings about change. If we embrace them, it will be a lot easier to grow and move on. Now the question here you can ask yourself is, what is stopping you from accepting your current situation? Or what is that you believe will happen if you accept this? These questions will help you to determine whether your acceptance is worth it or not. Acceptance means allowing unwanted experiences to come and go without struggling with them. Acceptance is treating whatever happens, we recognize the outcome as the best possible outcome and is used to resolve situations where a person feels disturbed by a person, place, thing, or any situation. Well, acceptance means accepting people, situations, things as they are. No judgment, no resistance, no complaints, no blame, no controlling, no criticism, and no competition. This is what Anuj did. He went and talked to his boss. He used his effective tools of communication where he was very assertive and at the same time very open-minded about the whole situation. When he carefully listened to his boss's side of story, he realized he was being too judgmental about the circumstances. They both worked it out and agreed to work together in the coming financial year and came to an agreement which was beneficial for both. So here, Anuj resolved the situation by accepting the change. Acceptance helps us to see the endless possibilities. It becomes possible when you take the responsibility of the things that are within your power of control, and no matter what happens, you can always manage your thoughts, emotions, and behavior. Acceptance is unconditional and absolute. According to Eckhart Tolle, acceptance is "this is it" response to anything occurring in any moment of life. Let's get to today's exercise. We are going to do 3 exercises. Exercise 1. Can you identify any important relationship in your life where your expectations have taken a toll? Would you consider to shift your expectations to acceptance? Exercise 2. How are you going to shift your expectations to acceptance? Exercise 3. Once you achieve that, please share your experience as what made it possible. Well, that's all for today's session. Tomorrow we are going to talk about unconditional love and how can we make it possible. Till then, stay home, stay safe, and stay tuned.